All right, I'm here this morning with two of our members of our VDC team at Poynter. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and what you do.
My name is Matt St. John. I'm the VDC director here at Poynter. I basically control the jobs inflow to the detailers and manage their day to day.
How long have you been in the department?
I've been in the department since 2017. But I've worked with Poynter since 2003, but been in the detailing department since 2017.
I'm Doug Underwood. I'm a VDC BIM lead. I basically draw the ductwork, coordinate the projects, help train any of the new guys.
When did you come into the office?
2019, and I've been with Poynter since 2013.
All right, let's start off. Either of you can jump on any of these. So, on your role in VDC, how early do you get involved with a project?
Depends on the project. Sometimes we're late to the game, like the job's already running and we got to jump in and take off. And other times we're months, half a year ahead of time, which is better because we can get in there and take our time, get stuff correct, and push out the door so we're not rushing.
Yeah. We've been seeing a lot of projects in the design assist. Doug, can you kind of explain what that kind of means to you on the design assist portion?
Well, for us, I think it just means getting in early on that project specifically. I guess you're helping the engineers understand what we can and can't actually do. I think it kind of helps when we do get in that early for design assist and helps them not draw 2-inch squared rounds and stuff like that. It just makes everything a little more efficient moving down the line.
Yeah, they're more focused on design and not fit out. So when we get in early, we can help side by side, make sure it fits in the building with their design. So we're not waiting for their design and then trying to make it fit and then trying to beat this construction schedule. We're in with them and figuring it out as we go.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I like that, especially on our estimating side, right? We all use the same database, so a lot of people don't know is not everything's fabricatable, but we do have that data set that lets us show the parts that can be fabricated and match it up with the specifications. A lot of times we don't see that, right? The specifications don't line up with the drawings. I always see that, on the project side, it's a huge benefit. How can owners benefit the earlier on you guys get involved?
I think mostly it's going to be schedule and time frame. And if it's not rushed, get in there and get everything in there correctly and find the mistakes or the issues and get them out front early. So we're not trying to fix everything as we're building it. So mostly it's going to be schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, what does that kind of look like? I mean, if we're doing a design assist, right, and maybe the model's not all the way developed by the engineer, what does that process look like? Is someone handing over control? Are you taking control? Is it dual models at the same time?
Most of the time we'll take what they have, we'll go ahead and convert it into our fabrication parts, and our model becomes the model that gets used.
And you guys are just live updating with the design team too,
It
right?
also depends on the engineer. Sometimes we'll just take over the whole thing and they'll just make comments what they need or give us an Excel sheet and we'll match to it. Other contractors or engineers like Icon, where they basically have their model and ours is on top of it, so they make the changes in their model, which is linked into our model. So if they change anything, we see it and we adjust our model to theirs and roll on.
Gotcha.
All right, Jacobs did the same thing. They did a really good job with us on several projects doing it that way.
Gotcha. What do you think is the most important, or what makes VDC the most important thing in today's construction?
I think to help with scheduling, honestly, like pushing the schedule on everything. VDC gets problems figured out early to where they're not issues in the field. I think that's kind of the biggest push on it.
It's also less, the foreman has to worry about design and ordering duct and getting duct. If it's going to fit, he can focus on his team and what he needs to do and get stuff lined out versus trying to figure out how to get the duct fit in the building. We do that for him on the front side.
Yeah, that's interesting. About 10 years ago, I'd say the difference was it was to fit, right? It was you had to make sure you went through that VDC process that it would fit was the biggest thing, and I feel like that's par for the course now of what goes on.
Yeah, and then the other side of that's make it more efficient.
Yeah.
Eliminate fittings, make less connections for the guys in the field, for testing, for everything else.
Yeah, I think a big thing too, I think our industry, obviously, we've always kind of worked through that design side, and our field has trusted it. I've seen others begin to trust it now, to where we're not seeing someone models it and doesn't follow that model, I feel like that's become more regular. And the sprinkler fitters, electricians,
Yeah.
the ones that didn't have all the design part of it, which kind of helps our folks, lean on our stuff even better. What is the biggest change you guys have seen in the last 10 years?
Technology. When we
Absolutely.
first started, we started in AutoCAD with a very archaic software. We went to Revit very early when I came in 2018. And as I came up through and built the department, we built everybody around Revit, which gives a lot more technical background, a lot of more metadata in the backside that could be pushed back to you in the sales or be pushed out to the field. So I think technology it's came a long way, just in the details that we could put in the model. When we first started, like grills were generic, dampers, VAVs were generic. Now we're putting the actual manufacturer models in and manufacturer equipment with all their specifications inside the model that can be pulled out and shared with other trades and or foremen.
Yeah. Is there any new software being used over the last 10 years?
Tons. All of it, I guess. Not necessarily all of it. Obviously, Revit's been around forever, but since I came in the department, I came in at a weird time too, because I came in right when the rest of the department was switching from AutoCAD to Revit. So it was, I guess I was thrown right in the early stage of it, more or less. So I didn't struggle with it as much, but it was weird hearing everybody complain about how, the switch was so hard. It wasn't as bad for me, I guess.
Yeah.
It definitely improved as far as the technology goes. The add-ins that we have in Revit now, it's definitely helped a lot, like the MAJ exporters and stuff like that. I don't know that were we using that?
No, it was hand taken off
Yeah.
of Practicad
It's been a while.
by Randy.
Oh,
One-
yeah.
Yeah, so one person did
Yeah.
the downloads when I came in, and now that anybody in the department has the ability to do that, to push them to Kyle, to the input department.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, if you go back even 20 years of, hand placing labels and that types of things, and now you've got automation running that you've created within the software, right? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, we use Dynamo that's in that end too, Revit, that takes a lot of that. It's like macros in Excel, basically. It's the same thing. It takes a lot of the
Mundane,
Yeah, I know.
well, it's just
repeatable.
and then it basically just cuts it out and automatically does it for you.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. It takes something that is very repeatable and very time consuming and kind of, staples it down is the main thing. Plus too, also information, right? One big thing looking back, when Nick used to count rings, and now you're able to generate, easy
Schedules.
reports and stuff like that just to kick them out to them a lot sooner. Maybe buy out a whole job versus looking at each individual order that gets turned to the shop, which just little things that you see over time that has helped the process. How does the relationship between BDC and the field team make a project more successful?
Well, I mean, in my, I guess, previous experiences anyway, it's helping them, especially with the models, like nowadays, having 3D models, being able to show them what they're up against before they hit site, or even, if they're in here versus on site, we can still walk and talk about the same problems in the model, I think.
They can also keep the other trades accountable. But having that coordination model, they can fly through there and see what the sprinkler fitter's at, see what the electrical lines are, and keep them accountable if they decide to veer off of their prints and do something easier for them. They have that resource to go back and be like, no, you were over here. This is where you're supposed to be. Move all your stuff because we're coming through there.
Yeah. And I see the field using you guys a lot more as a resource too now, not just generate shop drawings and turn in. I think of one example of a fan coil system on I believe it was a school job, and it had some intricate pieces, and the foreman, they just needed that extra cut view or maybe a different elevation view of something. And I feel like that's more of a standard. What are the other kind of services you guys help with the field as far as things like that?
I know a big one here lately has been weight for risers and stuff like that, so they know how much the crane's picking up or how much are set and what they have to deal with. So even steel layout for risers. We can lay out the steel, tell them how long it needs to be, where it needs to be coped, where it needs to be bolted together, if it's welded or bolted, or where does it work with the other trades. Anything else you can think of top of your
Yeah,
head?
I mean, you said it to a T, honestly, just having that ability to give them extra views and stuff like that. I get that all the time now. When I first got in here, we were just here for drawings, and that's kind of how the field saw us. But now, I get phone calls, texts, or emails regularly. Hey, can I get a view this way? Not quite sure what's going on here. I think that's probably one of the biggest helps.
Yeah, even down to the wall layout, hole layouts for
Yeah.
walls and stuff like that. You guys have truly become a huge service, I think, to the field. It helps because those tasks had to be done at some point, or if they didn't get done, they had to get fixed essentially.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of forward thinking, and I think that's picked up in the field, and that's made them request more and kind of created more standards. It's almost like a menu, right? Of hey, what would you like? Hanger points, hole layouts, cut views. Which ones did you want, or what elevations do you want to see? So I think that's a pretty cool thing that I've seen happen over the last 10 years. And I think Revit honestly has made your jobs a lot easier to help provide those things as well. So how does VDC make our field crews safer?
Well, I think you kind of touched on it. Honestly, I think the weights on the risers was a huge thing. I think that was kind of like a lot of our foremen, I kind of feel like we're playing in the unknown there. They were spending time trying to calculate up the weights versus now he's built dynamo scripts where it'll just populate the duct weight on our drawings. Now they know they're lifting 7,000 pounds at one time, and hopefully not with just a rope.
Right. Yeah, and even I've seen Sean gets involved. I think Sean was a big part in that, right? Of getting
Yeah.
weights.
He'll come in and
Right.
look at it with us too, yeah.
Yeah, and Sean, our safety director, we saw an issue with some large risers that were getting lifted, and the question came up, how much do these even weigh? And I remember that meeting like it was yesterday. Matt raised his hand and go, I can tell you in a couple minutes here. It's really neat to see all that information from the model be usable.
Yeah, he also came. Along the same lines. He came to me and he's like, "These guys are lifting stuff with angle. They're lifting stuff with channel." He's like, "We need to draw something up, have it engineered, and make it a standard for the company. And this is your lifting apparatus.
Right.
Order from the shop. Stop lifting stuff with random objects on the job site."
Right. How does VDC improve what happens in our shop?
Well, I go out to the shop all the time and I'll ask, like, especially not necessarily regular ductwork, but when it comes down to welded stuff and like that, I'm like, how do you guys want to receive this? Because typically we'll weld those things together. The more we weld in the shop, obviously, the better. But so I go out there and I'll ask them, like, do you want all of this in one? How do you want the connectors out here? Because, essentially the field's not going to have to mess with those connections. So I'd go out there, they're like, well, I want this butt welded. I want this straight added to this elbow, even though it might be like 4 foot long straight. They want it added to an elbow instead of, putting it all in little pieces and stuff like that.
Yeah. How does accurate modeling help with prefabrication and installation?
Because it'll fit then.
I give one example of a tool I thought. We got our new coil line a couple of years ago, and we had the ability to cut the taps on the side.
Right.
That was one that I thought with our field staff they were very hesitant. Do you have any success stories off of that, or?
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that's really pushed.
Sean Rafferty
He's the
would
one
probably be the
only one of
poster
it.
child for that, for
Yeah.
sure. If it can be done in the shop, he wants it done in the shop, and he'll push
That's
that as
true.
far as he can get it.
Yeah.
If he could get it spiral cut to single little 4-inch pieces in the shop, I'm sure he'd take it. But
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at the overall adoption of that. Just anytime you can take a measurement out of the field and put it in the shop, let a computer do it, it tends to work out, right?
Yeah.
You guys have already built it in the model.
Right.
It's not the exact, things are going to be off slightly, but for some low pressure things and those types of taps, and I think of an HET on, right, run out to a diffuser, it's going to be pretty good.
It's good
right?
enough,
So those are some cool things that I see that have happened. How's Poynter invested in growing the department, and why?
When I first came in, there was 7 of us. Now there's 17. So as the company scales, the department's scaled to meet the needs of bigger projects and faster paced projects. So they've definitely invested in people and manpower, and looking into other softwares to add into our software to make like Dynamo and Evolve to help make us more efficient.
So where do you see Poynter's VDC department continuing to grow?
As we keep getting bigger, we'll probably add more people. I mean, it's part of it. I mean, you need more people to do more things, but we find more ways to be efficient with the people we have. We're starting to dabble into looking more into the equipment and schedules and submittals and talking to the PC department more and communicating back and forth so we get equipment correct 100% of the time and ahead of schedule. More of a push than a pull. We're trying to be more proactive than reactive. Instead of waiting for an email saying, I need this tomorrow to release, it's already in the inbox of the project manager ready to be ordered before he even asks for it. So that's the direction as we grow, the direction we want to go.
Yeah, that's what I see. I see a lot of planning moving, shifting towards you. You guys brought it up in the very beginning, right when we first started talking about design assist, and schedule is the biggest thing, and I think that's going to continue to move on with the procurement, the planning, right, ordering of downloads. I see all that stuff kind of shifting more towards you guys and breaking those up, giving the foreman options of where to go. I think that's a big thing. How do you see AI and emerging technology introducing itself into VDC?
I know they finally started introducing it in Revit 2026. I had a meeting with the peer group managers this week. They said it's in there. They've messed with it a little bit. There's not much to it yet. In the next coming years, I can see them pushing a little more. It may take more of the mundane tasks out, but the person's still going to have to think through how to put the ductwork in. It'll be clunky for the next couple of years probably, and then it'll have to be verified because you got to trust but verify. Yeah, but it'll slowly start being implemented in the next probably 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I think see on my end on the sales side, seeing things that I didn't even imagine it being a part of, and right, I don't have to be as accurate as you guys obviously, but I see the first thing is lay out my sheets. This is my scale I want. Lay my sheets out for me. Just little things like that'll become very, things that are repeatable that maybe an introductory person is the one that starts doing that. It's going to start helping with those tasks and those types of things. I just want to thank Matt and Doug for taking the time to talk to us today and giving us some insight on VDC.
Thank you.